Here's Johnny.
Take your stinking paws off me.
Be cool. Be cool.
You fools! You're in danger! He's alive! He's alive! Wait, 21 gigawatts! Hallelujah! Holy shit! You believe this?
Jack burnt me.
We're pretty good to run, girly boy. Stop it!
What's up, you decomposed bags of filth, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I am going to be going back into the zombie collection because I found a shitload more that were discarded and just want to get them back into the collection and show you guys some of the great gems I have in there. Now these ones will be, some are solid zombie films, some are unorthodox, really strange ones, and just little hints of zombie into them. So it's just a really mixture of just odd ones that I kind of compiled into the zombie collection. But let's jump right in and check them out. First off is going to be a great, unique zombie film. I just reviewed this one, so you can check out the review. It is Death Dream. And this one is all kinds of crazy. Like I said, the review is up on the channel, so definitely check that one out. It pretty much centers around a Vietnam soldier who is said to be killed in action, but then ends up showing up at home, and his family's kind of, you know, awestruck with it. They can't believe what's happening, but they take him in, try to like bring him back into society, but he's kind of, there's something different about him, and he kind of just goes on killing sprees and has to feed off of people to kind of stay somewhat normal. But it's a really, really cool film. Definitely check it out. Bob Clark directed this one. He's director of Black Christmas and Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, one of my absolute favorites. So definitely check out the review. It's a great, great flick. Very unique, very, very strange. So definitely check this one out. A keeper. Keeper in the zombie collection. But next up is going to be not really a zombie flick, but it still has some of the same style and archetypes of the genre. But that is Demons. Boom! Love this movie. Really, really great flick. It's an amazing Lamberto Bava flick, and it really is just crazy. It's all kinds of wild. The makeup effects are all practical, very gory, very bloody, disgusting, grotesque. It's just a great, entertaining film with a lot of energy and a lot of just entertainment value in it. It centers around a movie theater where they're having a special screening of a flick. The people get invitations to it, they come to see the show, and then once it's about demons and things like that in the movie, and all of a sudden people start getting possessed in the theater and turning into crazed demons, and they just start running around massacring everyone, and everyone's trying to survive. It's a really hectic flick, really great Italian horror film. Definitely check this one out if you like chaotic cinema and fun chaotic cinema. But Demons, definitely a keeper, great, great flick. And next up is the sequel, Demons 2, another great, great film. It's probably, I mean, it's entertaining on the same level as the first one, but the first one's the best one. This one's almost a rehash story, but it's not in a movie theater. This time the people are in a high-rise, kind of futuristic apartment complex, and they all get trapped inside, and the demons start possessing people. It's all through a television program that's showing what happened in the previous film, and it kind of comes to life and starts possessing people just like in the first film. Great, great, great one. Really entertaining, really fun. Both of these movies, 1 and 2, I reviewed up on the channel, so definitely check those out. Both films are by Lamberto Bava, so definitely check these ones out. I highly recommend them. one of the best Italian horror flicks out there. Just really fun, entertaining, wild stuff. Well, let's keep it going with a classic. It is White Zombie. And this one is pure gothic gold. Just really, really great stuff. You have Bela Lugosi in the lead role. And he owns like a plantation, and he's just pretty much using voodoo to control his slave workers. And it's just really, really cool, creepy, atmospheric flick. Definitely one that you would just sit down and watch in October or on Halloween to get into the holiday spirit. Really, really amazing flick. This is the Kino Classics edition they put out. It's a really, really great master of the film. I watched it this October, loved it. Just a really great treat. So definitely check this one out if you like the zombie films that focus more on voodoo, because this one is all kinds of badass fun. And for the Demons 1 and 2, Synapse Films put those ones out, so definitely pick up the Blu-rays on there. Really great additions. But let's keep the ball rolling. Now this one, I was going to hold off and put it in with the rest of the director's films. It's a David Cronenberg film, and I have a bunch of his flicks, and I like to keep them together. But I think I'm going to put this one in with the zombie collection because it really does have a zombie vibe to it, even though it's very, very, very strange. It flips the whole formula on its head. And the movie I'm talking about is Shivers. Now, this one is pretty much, I don't even know if there's a US release for this one. This one's a region 2 DVD. I picked this one up a long, long time ago. There might be a Shivers edition out now on Blu-ray. I think there actually is. I was going to upgrade it. So yeah, I haven't upgraded it yet, but it's a really great flick. Definitely check it out if you like that kind of zombie vibe, but in a whole new light. It pretty much centers around, well, just like Demons 2, a futuristic apartment complex where it starts out with one person is infected with some kind of weird virus, and they kind of pass the virus on through like sexual contact, and the people that are infected are super sexualized people. They attack people. It's very strange. Definitely a Cronenberg body film. For sure. Really, really interesting, really great. I got a really good tone to it, very atmospheric and just very strange overall. So if you like David Cronenberg films, definitely pick this one up, check it out, find out how to see it. I'm pretty sure there is a Blu-ray that came out for it, so Shivers, just great, great Cronenberg film. Keep it moving along. Now this one, it's been a long time since I've seen this one. It's a foreign film, and I do not believe I remember what country put this out. It might be France. I think this is a French horror film, but it's a horror sci-fi kind of combination. I believe it's a world that is overrun by some kind of weird supernatural stuff, but there's like zombies too in this world. But it's a really cool claustrophobic kind of movie. It is The Dark Hour. And pretty much nobody talks about this movie. It kind of went under the radar and came and went. But it's definitely got a strange atmospheric tone to it. It's kind of like an end-of-the-world scenario where these people are kind of held up in this bunker kind of apartment place. And it's almost like a laboratory. And they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. What is the threat outside of the place they're in, the complex. And it's very mysterious. But yeah, it's got zombies in it. It's got like kind of ghost creatures. It's a really, really strange and unique combination. So if that sounds interesting to you, I enjoyed the film when I saw it all those years ago. I can't remember what year it came out. 2006. So it's a fairly recent movie in, I guess, the timeline of films that I watch and put up on this channel. But yeah, definitely check this one out if that sounds at all interesting to you, because it is interesting. But let's keep the ball rolling to a film that I absolutely loved when it came out. I still love it. It is, I guess you would call it's African filmmaker. I don't know if he's an African filmmaker, but it's filmed all in Africa. And it is The Dead. a really great modern zombie tale, for sure. It's pretty much just set in Africa, and there's a zombie apocalypse, and a man has to get to his loved ones. It's a pretty thin plot, but it's really cool how they craft the world, how the zombies are always lurking in the background. It's the slow-moving genre of zombies, but there's always a threat. It's a really, really interesting world, filmed beautifully, very rich, atmospheric world. Just one to definitely check out if you like low-key, under-the-radar zombie films. This one is up there. Really, really great. I love it. But that brings us to the second movie of the series, and that is The Dead 2. This one, I believe, is in India now. It's set in India, and it's kind of got the exact same premise as the first one, where a man has to get to his loved ones. I believe his wife lives in another town, and he has to travel across the country to get to her. But the Ford brothers are the ones that put out the film, two filmmaker siblings who love zombie films and love to make beautifully crafted zombie tales. But yep, Zombie 1 and 2 are a great example of kind of modern day zombies outside of George Romero's world. But definitely check these ones out. Love them. I picked them up both on Blue, upgraded my DVDs because I do love the film. It's a small little gem, both of them, and really entertaining, so added them to the collection. But up next is not so small a movie, and probably a lot of you guys have seen this one. It is World War Z. Brad Pitt starring flick where zombies are freaking out of control, running around like mad Olympic runners. It's just a crazy flick. And what I love most about this film is that the intensity and the just energy of the flick. It really has frightening moments where you are just overcome by the craziness on screen. And World War Z is a really, really great flick. I know a lot of people, when it first was going to come out, there were so many things wrong with the production that they thought it was going to be a shit fest. But it actually was a nice and pretty epic zombie film. I know it doesn't really follow the book to T, but definitely captures a crazy energy to it. So World War Z, throw it up on the pile. And next up, I didn't cover this one, I covered the original, and this is the remake by Zack Snyder. It is Dawn of the Dead. And as great as the original Dawn of the Dead is, it's surprising that they were able to make a good film based off of that George Romero classic. It's got great characters. The location of the mall is great, just like in the original. And even though these zombies are fast-moving, they still were able to capture the zombie world that George Romero set up in his original. So it's a really decent flick, gory, a lot of funny parts, very hilarious. They were able to blend the comedy and action horror elements of the film to a nice little package. So Dawn of the Dead remake, fun stuff. Check it out if you have not seen that. Really great, entertaining film. But next up is a two-pack, not Tupac, a two-pack, and that is 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. It's a great, the first one, Danny Boyle directed that one, and Juan Carlos Fresnadillo directed the sequel. Yeah, both films are solid. Cillian Murphy is in the first one in the lead role, just a really great role for him. It's almost I think it's his breakout performance where he kind of was introduced to the world. But yeah, first film, epic, really great original take on kind of the virus zombie outbreak. And the sequel is really great too. They really continued the world further down the line and saw how kind of how the world reacted to the first flick. And it's just a great film. Jeremy Renner, I believe, is in this one as kind of the lead hero. But yeah, a lot of great moments in both films, and a great kind of collection of zombie tales. But let's keep it moving along to an older flick. This one is just a very gothic, atmospheric kind of zombie film. And it's a film where there's not a whole lot of zombies. I believe it's just one zombie going around killing people. But the whole premise and just overall atmosphere of the film is top-notch, almost like a Hammer film. Hammer, Amicus kind of feel to it. And it is The House of Seven Corpses. Really, really great film. I love it, and not a lot of people talk about it. I don't think there's a lot of appreciation for this flick. But it's really, really cool. Got a great cast, John Ireland and John Carradine. It centers around a group of filmmakers trying to make a movie in this mansion. And for some reason there is a corpse that is coming back to life in a graveyard nearby and killing all the movie, the crew behind the scenes, the actors, and it's just kind of like picking them off one by one before they figure out what the hell's going on. But it's a really, really cool film. Has kind of almost like a ghost story film to it, feel to it too, so definitely check this one out if it sounds interesting. I don't believe I put this a review up for this, so let me look into that. If not, I'll probably put it up because it's a really cool little gem. Boom! Keep it going. Now this one, I absolutely love this one. It is technically not a zombie film because it's centered around mummies, but it definitely, the mummies are zombified corpses. They really have that feel of a George Romero flick and kind of like a Lucio Fulci zombie film too. And that is Dawn of the Mummy. Really great film. It kind of starts off slow, but once it gets its momentum, it really just cranks up into crazy, crazy territory. It's got no really known cast members in it, and it just centers around photo models, fashion models going for a photo shoot, and they pick a tomb that was just unearthed to do a photo shoot in, and the crew that's in the tombs are trying to keep them out of it because they want to steal the gold and riches and stuff in there. And then the mummies come back to life because of the curse of opening the tomb. So they're all kind of attacked by mummies, and by the end of the film, it's just an army of mummies descending on an Egyptian town, and it's just total chaos. It's really, really awesome. The main score to this film is just so damn catchy. I absolutely love it. It's really one of my favorite scores. Just a really fun film overall. Definitely check this one out, Dawn of the Mummy. I do not remember if I put a review. I think there is a review on the channel of this one, because I really remember doing this one. So check it out, Dawn of the Mummy. Smashing film, smashing film. But let's keep moving along. We got a couple more to go. And the next one is a weird, really gory, just low-budget splatterfest kind of flick for a zombie film. And it is Primotos, Lord of the Living Dead. I never remember the subtitle for this one. But this one is just a low-budget, foreign kind of gore-tastic flick. It's a German film, I believe. And it's just, yeah, it's got some ridiculous parts in it due to its dubbing. So it's dubbed in English, and it's just, I remember just really, really strange moments in the film. But you can see from the back, it's just bloody, gory. It's kind of like a Brain Dead, like Peter Jackson's Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, where it's just really gory, over the top, kind of splatterfest. So if that intrigues you, definitely check this one out. It's not one of the best films in the world, but it entertains, and it's just gory as shit. It's the best way to describe it. But next up is a very, very great film, an Italian zombie film that came out a little bit after the Italian gore zombie phase. And it is Della Morte, Dell'Amor. And it also goes by the title Cemetery Man. But this release is, I believe it's a Region 2. Doesn't say on here, but I know it's not a US release of this one, because they didn't have it at the time, so I had to pick it up overseas. But this one is just a really great flick. Stars Rupert Everett in the main role, and he plays a cemetery worker, caretaker, who lives on the cemetery, and his main job is to keep the dead in the ground, because in this cemetery they constantly come to life every night, and he has to kill them, dismember them, do whatever he has to do to get them back in the ground. So it's a really cool concept. Mixes love and death into a kind of crazy combination that really is entertaining. It's beautifully shot by, I believe it's Michelle Soivo, or however you say it. But yeah, it's a beautiful film, and not a lot of people have talked about it, so definitely check it out. Della Morte, Amor, or other title is Cemetery Man. It's just a really great flick, very, very atmospheric and poetic in parts. So let's keep this ball rolling to a classic of the genre, and I cannot believe that I missed this one in the first 4 zombie collection updates. This one is just fabulous. I picked this one up probably 2 months ago on Criterion release. It is Carnival of Souls, and if you're looking for the most atmospheric flick in the world, you have just found it. Carnival of Souls is totally creepy, totally artistic, and just really, really surreal. I love this flick, and if you have not seen it, just stop what you're doing and check it out as soon as possible. This Criterion release is beautiful. I upgraded it from my previous Criterion release to this Blu-ray, and do not regret it. Just a great film all around. Pretty much centers around an organ player, this lady, who's traveling to a town to become the new pianist there at this church. And she starts seeing this weird guy that's always following her, always somewhere where she's at. And she starts getting really paranoid and being obsessed with this old rundown amusement park on the pier. And it just kind of gets all weird, twisted up, and very haunting stuff happens to her. But it's really cool. It's definitely an unorthodox zombie film, to say the least, and one you should definitely check out because it's just got that cool style that is really haunting and enjoyable. But next up is another unorthodox zombie film, because I don't know if you'd categorize it as a zombie film, but it has that flavor and style to it. And it is Messiah of Evil. Now this one is just really, really great. It's got a lot of really rich colors in it, and artistic style that kind of plays with your head. They have a lot of weird imagery that makes you unsettled, I would say, and it just kind of centers around a weird, creepy town. And this girl is going to find her father, who has disappeared in this town due to his research. So she's kind of trying to find him, but all the villagers in the town are just kind of strange, like zombie-like, and people just randomly die, and it's just it's unsettling. It's got a very strange feel to it, and like I said, it's not technically a zombie film. It's almost like a cult film, like a crazy cult gone wild in the town, but it's really, really cool, really badass, and superb imagery. So Messiah of Evil, check that one out. I believe the review is up on the channel, so definitely check that one out because the images are spectacular. But next up is another unorthodox zombie film. It is, what country is this from? Shit, I cannot remember. If anyone remembers, please tell me because I totally forgot. I know it could be Australia, but I might be getting that mixed up with the other version of this film. But it is Soul Survivor. And this one is pretty much like a Final Destination kind of film. A girl survives a plane crash. I believe she's the only survivor. And ever since surviving that plane crash, she's kind of haunted by death. But it's like death in the form of people that looks like zombies. So it's got a zombie feel to it for sure. Like a lot of these flicks, very atmospheric, totally dreamlike, and unsettling imagery. Really, really cool stuff. I know not a lot of people talk about this film. Code Red put this one out. I do not know if there's a Blu-ray to upgrade to, but yeah, it's a really, really cool flick. Definitely check this one out. The other kind of film that's like this is, I think it's just called Survivor, but I have that one too, but it doesn't have the zombie-like feel to it like this one. This one's really, really heavy on that. So it's kind of like Final Destination with zombies. But let's round it out to the last flick of the night. And this one is The Sentinel. Definitely have this review up on the channel, so check it out. Love this film. It's another unorthodox film. You can technically say it's like a zombie film, but there's so many elements working in to make it what it is that you really can't totally categorize it as that. But stars a woman who moves into a new apartment, but there's something wrong with the apartment. The tenants are all weirdos, really creepy, and she starts seeing things at night, imagery of her abusive father in a zombie form, and a lot of just undead people coming out of the woodwork. And it's just really, really crazy. Chris Sarandon is in it from Fright Night fame. It's just a really, really great flick. Burgess Meredith's in it. He plays another tenant in the building. And just a lot of quirky characters in this flick. And balanced with frightening imagery. But definitely the Sentinel is one to hunt down if you haven't seen it. And like I said, check out the review because it is up on the channel. And I think that is it. We went through a whole shitload today, so that should round out my zombie collection. Who knows, I might find some more, but until then, this is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you found some gems and some interesting flicks you want to track down for yourself. But I will see you all at the next movie review or collection update. So take care, stay out of trouble, and see you next time. Later!